Okay, good day, everyone. Welcome back to our online video lecture. So we're now in part 3 of inventories. So that is lower of cost and net realizable value. And I think from my other class, from the other block that I handled, we were not able to discuss part 2 because that was the time when um, we were we were visited by the earthquake, no? So, um, anyways, let's revisit that particular topic at some future time, no? In finals, and then for today we'll be discussing everything about lower of cost and net realizable value. So just a quick refresher. Last time, I think it was in part 1 wherein we mentioned about the measurement of inventory. How do we measure inventory? So we measure it initially and subsequently. So when we mean initially, so the first time that you acquire the acquire purchases, no? Or for example, you have a merchandising business, no? Or your family has a merchandising business. So you purchase from your supplier and then um th- those purchases, no, naa siya cost or you pay for a price for it, right? So that will be the cost. So that is the initial measurement, so cost. And when we say subsequent measurement, so at the end of the accounting period, for example, at the end of the accounting period, um you have a calendar you are in a calendar period sa imong business. So, for example, December 31, 2026. So, you need to measure again your inventory. So, this time, you will use the lower of cost and net realizable value because this is the subsequent measurement for inventories. Okay. So, I have here an example. A retailer purchased 10,000 iPods in 2006, thinking they could be sold easily for the next 10 years. The iPods cost the retailer $250 each. So 10,000 iPods, 10,000 items, and then it has a cost of $250 each. The retailer did not anticipate the iPhone, making the iPod obsolete. And today, the retailer has 1,000 iPods left. So, mao na lang ni ang nabilin. That can be sold for only $150 each. Okay. Ni obsolete naman siya, no? As time passes by. So, how should these be valued today? So, are we valuing it at um initially sa katong cost, no, which is $250 or $150? Okay, so unsa kaha? Okay, but before we answer that, inventory is not always valued at its cost price. Sometimes the amount stock can be sold for is less than it actually costs, no? So, example sa hotel rooms. So, naay mga pa-promo-promo ng mga hotels, 'di ba? So, naay for example, kung dili peak season, na sila pa-promo. So, pareha ani $199 AUD. Um, it's the usual cost of one room, no? But if ever there is a sale or there is a promo, so mauna lang ni siya. This is the new rate. $149. So dili gina siya always nga we base the cost as um or we value the price for the inventory at its cost, no? So sometimes it can be lower, it can be lesser than it actually costs. And another example is that kind of mga swimwear. 'Di ba usually ang swimwear kay very sellable sila sa summer, no? Summer. So, what happens after summer season? So, example, sa June, July, and August, ma-end naman ang summer, di ba? Murag May na siya ma-end or mga, yeah, something like that, no? So, during those months in June, July, and August, swimwear will be on sale. So, na ay mga clearance sale, something like that. So, we cannot really say that um, the cost will remain the same or um, the price, no? The price when we sell a particular item that we have will still be the same. So, naatay mga pakulo. Okay? So, there is a question here. Why do businesses sell stock for less than its cost? Diba? So, of course, ang businesses, dili man siya, it doesn't aim for incurring a loss, right? Pero sometimes, there is an instance wherein stocks can be sold less than unsa man, less than what it cost, no? So sometimes a business will sell an item of stock for less than its cost because the item of inventory. So probably there is a new model. So sa inyong iPhone, no? Kasagaran, I think there is iPhone users. So iPhone 17. So what akahibaw na napoy upcoming na iPhone 18, no? So ang iPhone 17 is superseded by the newer model, which is iPhone 18. So, of course, yung iPhone 17 will be lesser na than pila to ang cost niya initially, right? Or it has become obsolete, no? So, for example, kani mga typewriters, mga CDs, no? We are already in a very high-tech era, right? So I don't know if CDs are being are being used um now, no? Typewriters, murag seldom na kaayo. Okay? And then other reason is it is out of season. So katong summer, katong bikinis, mga swimwears, selling umbrellas. Then it's out of fashion. Wrong color for this season. That is damaged or spoiled. Like bread, fruit, vegetables. So, kana siya. So, munang ibaligya nila lesser than its cost. And it's being deliberately sold below cost. So, naay intention ang business to sell it below cost. For example, a discount to attract customers. Okay? So those are some typical examples why businesses opt to sell their items, their inventories for less than its cost. Now in accounting, so our value add here is we need to know the rule for the inventory valuation. So inventory should be valued at the lower of cost or net realizable value. The cost here is the items product cost, no? So, mo ni siya ang initial measurement. Okay? And diri sad mo connect ang katong cost formula sa part 2. Katong inventory cost formula, mga specific identification, mga FIFO, no? Kailangan man, di ba, makahibaw ka pila ang value or ang ending inventory, no? So, depends what cost formula are you going to use pod, no? So, na ay certain cost formula nga if you use, dako siya nga value. But if kani siya nga cost formula, gamay siya ang value. So, we will be revisiting that one. Okay? And atong i-connect siya sa ato ang topic sa LCNRV. So, cost, no? So now, we also have net realizable value. So what is this net realizable value? So net realizable value is the estimated selling price of the inventory or of the stock, no? Minus its selling, marketing, and distribution costs, no? Related to that particular stock, no? So selling, marketing, and distribution costs. So, mao ni siya inyong i-remember, okay, for the formula of NRV, net realizable value. So, kung unsa ra imong ma-recover, no, from that inventory. Okay? So, here, another example is December 1, a firm has 100 coats in stock. The product cost of each coat is $50. That's on December 1. And to sell the coats in summer, the selling price has been lowered to $40. No, kay mag-coat ba di ka summer? So $40. It has been lowered. In addition, there is an advertising cost, no? Advertisement cost $200. Okay? That is already for the 100 coats. So how do we compute for this one? And how should we value inventory? Okay? So inventory should be valued at the lower of cost or net realizable value. Okay, so the formula for this one, so let's compare, no? So cost is $50, NRV is 40, and $2. That is from the $200 advertisement cost for all the 100 coats. So we just have to divide it. And now the net realizable value for the coats, the coat is $38. So the coats will be valued at either cost, 50, or NRV. So dapat piliun ninyo ang lower. Okay? So after determining the cost of inventories using either FIFO or weighted average, so that's what I meant earlier. So ang kaning cost, no, ma-determine ang cost sa inventories when we select a particular cost formula. So there is a Philippines, we only use FIFO, weighted average, specific identification. LIFO, last in first out, is not permitted here in the Philippines. Okay? So it is important. Okay. So mo na siya sa cost ha. So there will be, or the cost formula will be used no in determining the value of the inventory. Well, for the NRV, katong ato ang formula nga nagigamit kanina. So estimated selling price less cost to sell, cost to market, cost to distribute, no? So any cost that is related para ma-sell to siya nga item. Okay? So with that, in the subsequent when we subsequent measure the inventory, it will be $38, the lower of the two. So the net realizable value, $38. Okay? Ngano man, why do we need to choose the lower of the two? No? Okay, this is related to conservatism principle. No? So, assets shall not be carried in excess of amounts expected to be realized from their sale or use, no? So we already know that the quotes can be realized, no? Can be sold at $38. It cannot be sold at $50 na kay dili na siya mahalin, no? So, para mahalin siya, we should lessen it. We should lessen, no? And this is now the determined estimated recoverable amount for the quote. So here, assets shall not be carried in excess of amounts expected to be realized. So mao ni siya ang ato ang estimated nga cost, no? Or estimated na nga value nga ma-realize for each of the quotes. For each of the quotes nga igbabaligya ig summer, no? So, knowing the circumstance as well. Okay? So that's why we opt for lower, no? Lower of the two. Now, how do we determine the not realizable value? So for example, you have a business and naakay different kinds of or different categories of inventories, no? So it is said in the standard accounting standard in PFRS that it is it sh- it is encouraged to write it down to NRV on an item by item or individual basis. But there is also a possibility that we can explore grouping of some similar or related items. So let's have this illustration from Attorney Valek's from the Attorney Valek's books, no? So your book. So this illustration is sourced from the inventories on December 31, 2020. So categories here, A, B, C categories. I mean different categories for the inventories, and we have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and it has been categorized into three. No, the inventories, each inventories has been categorized into three. So for A, there is a cost and there is an NRV. So you have to do it item by item or individual basis. So with that, A, kung unsa to'y lower there, you have to select it and you will put the lower amount here in the column LC and RV. So now we already identified the lower of cost and net realizable value. Then you have to add everything. You have to add all in this particular column. So we arrive at 7,850,000. And 8,100 has been also derived from the subtotals, no? Subtotals of category 1, 2, and also 3. And the grand total here for cost, same rag hapon. Subtotal, you have to sum it, 3,531, and also the 1,4. That makes up the grand total, 8 million. But here, no, you will opt for this value. This is the total of the lower of cost and net realizable value item by item or individual basis, no? But how about we will explore also the exception. What if it is best to categorize or it is best to group, no? To group the inventories because those are related items. Those are related from each other. So, pwede siya by category, by group, by grouping, no? So cost here is 1,400,000 and then 1,490,000 for category 1, 3,500,000 here, 3,460,000 for NRV. And then category 3 is 3,100,000 and then 3,150,000. The subtotal for the category 3. And now, you have to do it category, each of the category. Okay, so lower of cost and net realizable value for each of the category, we have 1,400,000, then 3,460,000, and then 3,100,000. Then you sum it up. So now, if we opt for the grouping of similar or related items, we arrive at lower of cost net realizable value amount of 7,960,000. Okay? But the priority here is kanisha, item by item or individual, unless the problem states that you need to compute for the groupings, no? The groupings or the categories per categories. Okay? So, naasay nag-compute pod for LC and RV by total, no? But this is not usually used, class, no? Because we assume that each of the inventories here, what they call this one, unsa may purpose nga nung ilahi-ilahi siya, no? Nga i-total raman di ay siya. Okay? So, but if ever na instance nga are related gyud tanan, no? So probably this can be used, but this is already on the lowest rank, no? So we need to prioritize the writing down to NRV item by item, then the next one is by category. And then so now, as you can see, the cost here is 8 million. No? 8 million siya. And yes, this is, or this calculation is needed, no? Or you can have this calculation as well in order for you to calculate all the cost, no? So, mo ta kung giingon ganina, class, na if you have various inventories, you need to know the accumulated cost, no? Kay dili man tanang inventories, di ba lahi-lahi kag inventories sa imong business. So dili man tanan parehong cost. So you need to sum it all, no? Sa A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So now the total cost for your inventories is 8 million. And you have the net realizable value coming from the item by item or individual basis, which is 7,850,000. Now, the write-down, the inventory write-down, as you can see, na siya write-down because it has decreased, right? So the cost was 8 million, but there is a net realizable value, no? Or mao na lang siya ang value nga ma-recover nimo, estimated, at 7,850,000. So that is 150,000 ang inventory write-down nimo. Now, let's have the two methods for accounting, the two methods of accounting for inventory write-down. We have direct method or the cost of goods sold method, and also the allowance method or the loss method. But take note that regardless of the two methods or regardless of the methods used, whether it's direct or allowance, the cost of goods sold amount is the same in both. Okay? So pareho ra gyud og value or amount ang cost of goods sold regardless of the two methods. Now for the direct method, let's explore the what includes direct method, or what do we see here for the direct method? So your beginning or ending inventory for direct method is valued at LC and RV diretso. No? Direct siya. Okay? So, directly valued at LC and RV. But, in contrast with allowance, inventory is recorded at cost. Okay? Cost nimo siya i-recognize, or the value is at cost for allowance method. And here are the journal entries in the two methods. So, journal entry for the direct method. So, LCNRV, no? Katong ganina, 7,850,000. And then, income summary. Credit to income summary. Okay? So, it's like closing this inventory manggod class, no? That's why we use income summary here. No? So, um, 'di ba sa income statement nato naatay inventory beginning, naatay inventory end. And at the end, it will be closed, no? Ang mga income statement ng mga accounts. Although, generally, inventory is a balance sheet account. But for the purpose of the journal entry here, we will have income summary as the kabangga niya, no? So it's like closing. It's like a closing in the accounting cycle. When you have your basic accounting. So inventory ending here in allowance method is 8 million. So it is valued at cost. And in the direct method for the inventory write down, wala siya, you do not need to account for it because there is no account that is dedicated for inventory write down, no? Whereas when we have it in the allowance method, na siya particular na account jud na dedicated. So that is the loss on inventory write down and also the allowance for inventory write down. So when we for the loss on inventory write down, that is added to the cost of goods sold. So this is an income statement account. Whereas for allowance for inventory write down, this is a balance sheet account. Okay. So for the allowance, no? So we already talked about the inventory write down. And if ever naa siya succeeding na revaluation of the inventory, and then ang inventory mas nigamay pa siya, so that is a decrease, no? So the decrease of the value of the inventory, meaning you will need to increase the allowance because the loss is present there, right? So there will be an additional loss for if ever mas mubo ang value sa inventory. So that loss will be added to cost of goods sold. Pero if ever there is or it is found out that the market has improved and then the inventory is being valued higher, so there will be a decrease in the allowance for the inventory write down. So for the decrease of the allowance for inventory write down, it means that there is a gain. No, there is a gain. I don't know if you understood me, pero sige, going back. Okay, but I have some examples in the succeeding slides, no, for you to have a visual illustration, no? So just to give you an overview about the allowance, if the inventory write down increased here, there will be an additional loss, no? So, meaning, naa kay i-add sa cost of goods sold. And that means your allowance for inventory write-down has increased as well. But if your wala kay loss on inventory write-down, instead you have a gain, no? Instead you have a gain because there is a reversal of inventory write-down. So, nganong ma-reverse man ang inventory write-down? Okay, for example, 8 million ang imong inventory here, no? What if in the end in the next period ni higher ang value sa inventory, no? Kay ni improve ang market. So for example, 8 or 9 million, na 9 million na siya. So meaning ni taas ang iyang value. So dili na ka need mag inventory write down, or if na magani inventory write down, you will reverse it because that constitutes a gain, and the reversal of the inventory write down there is only limited up to the allowance balance that is initially recognized. So for here, it's only 150,000. So ato na siyang i-explore ang examples later ha. So this is the formula, no? Okay, so for the direct method here, you have, or you can familiarize this structure. So beginning inventory, that is the LCNRV, and then the net purchases that will be added, net cost of purchases that will arrive, you will arrive at the goods available for sale, and then ending inventory is valued at LCNRV as well. And when you deduct the ending inventory from the goods available for sale, you will have now your cost of goods sold at LCNRV, no? Or I'm sorry, it's not LCNRV, but since you have used the LCNRV in both of the inventories, so um, ang cost of goods sold ninyo kay kung ano siya, very straightforward na siya, no? And then here for your allowance method, you will use at cost for both of the beginning inventory and then the ending inventory as well. So now you will have cost of goods sold before the write down. And if ever you have a loss on inventory write down, so ganina is example, the loss on inventory write down there is 150,000. So 150,000 is added in order for you to arrive at cost of goods sold after write down. Okay? So this is the common or the structure for your income or partial cost of goods sold statement, no? And that's for allowance method. And for the direct method, very straightforward ra siya. Very direct ra gid siya. So another illustration here, but this is a continuation from the example nato diri, no? So assume on December 31, 2021. So this is the next accounting period, right? Or the end of the accounting period. December 31, 2021. And we will have this December 31, 2020 as the beginning. Beginning, right? So kay ang inventory, that is generally a balance sheet account that we can carry over to the next accounting period. Now, so assume on December 31, 2021, total cost of inventory is 8.5 million. So, naa siya'y, you know, ni-higher, okay? Ni-higher ang amount sa inventory. Instead of 8 million to ganina sa December 31, 2020 na 8.5 million na siya sa cost, no? And then NRV is 8.4 million. Maybe some instances ani kay ni-improve lagi ang market, no? So therefore the amounts also have improved. So for the direct method, we will debit it at LC and RV. So inventory ending 8.4 million, income summary as the credit 8.4 million. Now for the allowance method, we will opt to use the cost. So 8.5 million, 8.5 million. Now, we have an initial allowance, right? We have an allowance for inventory write-down beginning at 150,000. So, mao ni siya ang katong 150,000. Mao ni siya ang na-set up na to as an allowance for inventory write-down, 150,000. And this is a balance sheet account. Therefore, ma-carry over na siya sa next accounting period. So, 150,000. And now, there is a revaluation of the inventories, right? So, 8.5 million and then 8.4 million ang NRV. Therefore, the ending allowance balance for this illustration is 100,000. But previously, we have an allowance balance of 150,000. No? So, that means ni gamay ang allowance for inventory write-down na to. No? So, from 150,000, it is now at 100,000. So, there is a decrease in allowance, and that decrease in allowance is a gain on reversal of inventory write-down. No? So that is a gain on reversal of inventory write-down. So that is 50,000. Then you will debit the allowance for inventory write-down. No? Kaya 'di ba, the normal balance for allowance for inventory write-down, that is at 50, that is credit. Now, since naa siya decrease in allowance, ato siyang i-debit, no, kay ni-decrease man iyang allowance. Ni-decrease ang iyang allowance, so dili na siya sa credit side. So sa debit side na siya. Then we have gain on reversal of inventory write-down, 50,000. And this gain on reversal of inventory write-down, kani siya nga account, this will be deducted from the cost of goods sold. Okay? So, di ba, ang loss on inventory write-down na to, debit man to ang loss on inventory write-down. Here, this is added to the cost of goods sold. Okay? But, we have a gain on reversal of inventory write-down, no? This will be deducted from the cost of goods sold. Okay? Cost man ni siya good class. And then here, this signifies that, unsa man, ni higher ang value sa inventory. Therefore, na improvement sa value sa inventory. No? So, dili siya, that's not, what do you call this one? The treatment is opposed to cost, right? Kaya we can resell it higher naman, no? NRV has now been 8.4 million. So, That's it. That's the illustration for the gain on reversal of inventory write-down. Okay, another illustration here is the direct method. We directly use the LCNRV. So 4.5 million ang beginning inventory here, plus the 20 million at purchases, and then you just sum it up to arrive at the goods available for sale, and then the ending inventory here is 5.3, the lower of cost and net realizable value, and your cost of goods sold is now directly computed 19,200,000. So that is the lower amount. The lower amount is usually used in both of the inventories. Then the allowance method here, class, is um we use at cost. So 5 million, then 6 million here. Now we have cost of goods sold before inventory write down, 19 million. 19 million. And as you can see here, okay. So, okay, 19 million ang cost of goods sold before inventory write down. Now, we have to identify if we have an inventory write down. And makita na ninyo siya very straightforward, class. Makita na ninyo nga na siya inventory write down. Kay ang mong NRV is here, no? It's lesser than the cost. So with that, you need to compute for the required allowance. For the required allowance sa beginning, no? So that is required allowance for the beginning, that is 5 million minus 4,500,000. That is here, 500,000. Then required allowance for the ending. So 6 million minus 5.3. That is 700,000. So mo na siya ang ending allowance, no? Ending balance of the allowance, but naasad kay dapat i-consider na beginning allowance. Okay? From January 1. So, mo na siya ang beginning allowance, which is 500,000, and you have the ending allowance, 700,000. Therefore, imuhang loss on inventory write-down is at 200,000. Ni-increase man siya, class, from 500,000 to 700,000. So that is an increase. So that is a loss on inventory write-down. So you have to add it to the cost of goods sold before inventory write-down, making it at 19,200,000, which is equal to your cost of goods sold in the direct method. So regardless of method used, so cost of goods sold must be the same. Now for the points to remember, class, this is just sort of like a recap from everything that we discussed earlier. So the basic rule of measurement, no, subsequent measurement, is the lower of cost and net realizable value. And the cost here is the purchase price or the production cost in case of manufacturing business. Purchase price in case of merchandising business. And the cost formula, specific identification, the weighted average, the FIFO, will also take part in computation for the cost of the inventory. Then, for the NRV, class, that is computed as estimated selling price less whatever cost that are needed to sell that item. Cost to complete and sell, no? Katong mga selling costs, distribution cost, marketing costs. Okay? So, if the net realizable value okay, becomes higher than the cost, no? Oh, before we go there. So in the usual setting, class, net realizable value is lesser than the cost, no? So therefore, with that, you have to write down the inventory. But what if your net realizable value becomes higher? So what if it becomes higher than the cost? you do not increase the inventory above cost. So you will pick the lower, you will always pick the lower class. Even if yung net realizable value ni goes higher siya than the cost. So, ang lower na ana is the cost. So, that is related to the conservatism principle na katong assets cannot be carried over, cannot be, kani siya, assets shall not be carried in excess of amounts expected to be realized from their sale or use. Conservative, no? Conservatism principle. Okay, for the number 2, basis of applying LCNRV, that shall be item by item or individual basis. But there are other possible categories like by category, which is groupings of similar or related items, and also by total, which is rare and not referred. Now for the number 3 points to remember, that is direct method versus allowance method. So for the direct method, it's also known as COGS method. For the allowance method, it's also known as loss method, no? So ang sa direct method diri class, ang COGS very direct, very straightforward, no? Kay ang imong gina-use sa both sa ending and sa beginning inventories are LC and RV, no, which is the subsequent measurement. And then sa allowance method, this is also known as loss method, kay naman kay gina-set up na account, no? One of which is the loss on inventory write down. So, okay. And for the direct method, it directly reduce your inventory, no, to the lower of cost and net realizable value. But here for the allowance method, naa kay separate contra account. Katong allowance for inventory write down, no? And inventory is recorded directly at LCNRV, but here in allowance, inventory stays at cost. And for number 2, direct, there is no separate loss account. Wala siya. Buried siya directly sa cost of goods sold. Buried siya directly sa expense, no, nga cost of goods sold. Allowance for inventory write down is used as the separate account, no, separate contra account. And there is also separate loss account that is used, that is loss on inventory write down. Then the effects here for the direct method, inventory becomes lower immediately. And then the loss is hidden inside the cost of goods sold or buried inside the cost of goods sold. But sa allowance, the effect is it's much more what they call this one, mas naay clarity in terms of presentation, no? And mas easier ang tracking in terms of the inventory write down, and if in case there is a reversal of inventory write down, no, or na siya gain on reversal of inventory write down. So okay, for the reversal of write down for inventory, so the NRV increases later, no? For the direct method, you just have to record the inventory at lower amount. So for your journal entry, inventory ending at LCNRV, and then income summary, credit. Okay? But for the reversal of inventory write down here sa allowance, you have to record inventory at cost. And then for the journal entry number 2, naakay reduction of the allowance, and you have to recognize a gain. So debit allows for inventory write down, and then you credit the gain on reversal of inventory write down. But the gain here is limited only to the beginning allowance or the previous allowance that was set up. Okay? And then last is the final cost of goods sold for both of the methods are the same. Okay? So, ang idea lang anhi diri sa gain class, gain on reversal of inventory write down, You can still recover the old loss, no? But you cannot create an extra gain. That's why it's only limited sa previous allowance or the previous write down amount. And here, US GAAP versus IFRS, but we are referencing IFRS in the Philippines. So when loss or loss recognized when value drops. So yes, there is a recognition of loss in both. And then for the reversals, if it is allowed, reversals of inventory write down, that is not permitted in the US GAAP. And then yes, for IFRS, we have a gain on reversal of inventory write down. That is because for US GAAP class, it's much more conservative, or it has relied on reliability, no, conservatism or reliability principle. So um that means okay. So no, why is there reversals? Nganong naa may reversals nga happen? So ang reason ana niya is that pareha atong ganina is na ay ni-improve ang market. Therefore, ni higher ang imong NRV. So from 7,850,000 nahimo na siyang 8,400,000, diba? So that's why naatay gi-recognize ganina na reversal. Okay? And that particular instance is actually an unrealized gain. No, that's only a paper gain. So when there is a recovery of inventory value, no, na a recovery of inventory value from 7,850,000 himo na siyang 8,400,000 na NRV nimo, that is an unrealized gain. No, because that is still before the actual sale. So inventory there, the value of the inventory goes up, but is not yet sold, no? So that's why unrealized gain, that is also called as a paper gain. There is an increase in value, no, that have happened on the paper, but the asset is not yet sold or exchanged. So there is a gain of value economically, no? So with that, ang US GAAP dili siya mo allow og reversals later, no, kay it will be, or there will be um an opportunity for the manager to manipulate the earnings, no? Paper gain ra man gud siya class. So that's why it's not permitted in the US GAAP, because they are relying more on the conservatism principle. But for IFRS class here, no, they okay ra, they permit reversals, no? Because they want to reflect the true value, no? The genuine value of the inventory, no? Kung ni-improve man di ang market, so i-reflect ang improvement sa value of the inventory. That is faithful representation para di ma-mislead ang users. But the risk here is that there will be understatement of assets. Yeah. Okay, so that's it for the points to remember. And for the other topic, purchase commitments. So hapit na jud ta class. So purchase commitments, this is related to LCNRV. The definition here is that a purchase commitment is an agreement to buy goods in the future at fixed price, fixed quantity. Kumbaga, more siya arranged marriage gani class, no? Gisaara na siya nimo nga pakaslan. or gisaaran na sa inyong parents nga kamo jud magpakasal ha, no? So naanay agreement now, but the execution will happen in the future. Okay? So naa siya obligation. Nanay na-create na obligation because of the agreement. So nana sa inyong oblikon, right? So recognition here is related to LC and RV because loss is recognized if the commitment is firm, non-cancelable, and market or replacement price falls below the contract price. Okay. So, okay. So, agreement man siya class, no? Unless the agreement states that that is cancelable, no? So, um, you cannot, or the criteria here cannot be satisfied. You cannot recognize loss because in your agreement that is cancelable. So dapat non-cancelable siya. And the agreement is firm or the commitment is firm, then the market or replacement price falls below the contract price. Now, this is the example. The contract price is 500,000. So, mauna siya ang agreement. Mauna siya ang price stipulated in the agreement. Okay? And then the replacement cost here is 450,000. So now, assuming, no? Assuming na ang agreement ninyo here is non-cancelable and then it satisfies these three qualification, right? Now we will recognize loss. But before that, what is replacement cost? No? So, means usan yung replacement cost? We already tackled NRV earlier, but we also encounter another terminology, replacement cost. Replacement cost is the amount an entity would pay to replace an asset at current market prices. So it's like the current market price class, no? So it relies on the current price and not historical. Okay? So um how do we say it in a simpler term? Replacement cost that is readily available in the market. Ano na lang siya. Ano siya ang cost readily available in the market, no? Okay? So, okay, I have here a definition. Replacement cost is the expense to replace an asset with a similar one at current market prices. Gets the siya class. So, hold on. So, another definition is that it is the amount of money it would take to replace an existing asset, no? Because there is a similar kind nga, or I think libog na siya. Libog na ni siya nga definition. Okay. So sa contract price, this is also the cost agreed, right? So that is what you paid for the item. What you pay for the item. So mano siya ang agreed na price. But for the replacement cost, this is the costs to buy the same item, no? Which can be seen in the market today. Okay? So cost to buy the same item, referencing from the market prices today. Okay? So replacement cost. And now, mas relevant man gud siya gamiton na term class than NRV, no? Because we are talking about purchase commitments. So loss on purchase commitment is debited, and then credit for the estimated liability for purchase commitment, 50,000. And for the loss here, that is the other other expense that is recognized as other expense or classified as other expense in your financial statements. And then the estimated liability here that will be recognized as a current liability. Then for the disclosure, if only purchase commitments are significant and unusual. So that's the time that you will disclose it in the notes to the financial statements. Then di ba, mawan siya to illustration earlier. What if the actual, or we already have the actual purchase, no? Muna na siyang illustration sa actual purchase. So your replacement cost seems to be lower. So it's now 420,000. That's in the following period when the actual purchase happened. Kay kani siya, 'di ba? This is just the agreement. That's the time when you agreed for the lobat na ko. Okay. So this is the actual purchase scenario in the following period. So the replacement cost is now lower. It has a lower amount of 420,000. So this is now the entry, or this is the journal entry that you need to recognize. So since this is now an actual purchase, so you debit purchases amounting to 420,000. And since, 'di ba, this is the agreed price to pay, for you to pay that particular purchase, no? So you have to credit 500,000. Mo na siya imong payable. No, kay mo man na siya ang stipulated sa inyong contract. 500,000. Okay? And you have recognized an estimated liability. 'Di ba? Initially. So estimated liability here is debited, or this is closed. No? Wala man gyud ni siya na happen, right? So ang imuhang na-recognize na estimated liability, this will now be debited para ma-zero out. So debited, and then there is an additional loss on purchase commitment. Kaya 'di ba 450,000 man to last time. But it seems, or it seems, but it's definitely lower than 450,000. So there's an additional recognition of loss on purchase commitment, which is 30,000. So I hope that the entries are understandable to you, no? So to me, ang akong approach ana is first kani actual purchase, what is the actual purchase, the amount of the actual purchase, and then pila man to ang akong bayron nun gyud, no? The accounts payable, and then the other entries here kani siya estimated liability, and then the balance amount here is, or pertains to, the additional loss on the purchase commitment. But what if, class, that the actual purchase in the following period is higher? No? So before it's in our previous example, it's 420,000. It's lower, 'di ba? It's lower than the replacement cost here for 50,000. But what if the replacement cost is higher? It's 600,000 compared to 450,000, no? So if it's higher, then um ang purchases, okay, unsa man ato ang first ion na here, no? So I will first identify what needs to be credit or kani siya. Sure man jud ko nga 500,000 akong bayron nun, no? Guys, since that is already stipulated in the contract, 500,000. And then, sure sad ko nga akong na-set up na estimated liability, sorry, yeah, estimated liability, this will be debited. I-close na ko siya. So that will be debited. And then, naatay kuwangan na figures, no? So, I need to recognize purchases of 500,000. Okay? Anong 500,000 man siya? Anong 500,000 man siya? And why is it that the gain on purchase commitment is 50,000? So going back to our original illustration here, class, no? So the contract price, mao dyan na siya atong bayron nun is 500,000, no? And then, the replacement cost is 450,000. But here, hold on. Okay. So, why is it that our gain is only 50,000 man, no? Shouldn't it be a 600 minus 450,000? So that's around, how much is that? 600 minus 450,000. So 150,000, no? But here it's only 50,000 because what we initially recorded here, no? We recorded a loss on purchase commitment that is 50,000. So your gain, this is the same with the LC and RV, no? Kato reversal of inventory write-down, nga ang gain is only limited to the prior loss nga na record, which is 50,000. So that's why your gain on purchase commitment is only limited to 50,000, capped at 50,000. And yeah, so that's the 50,000. And then the purchases here is the, what was the purchase? Murag ang pares ra ni siya sa sa accounts payable class as compared here, no? As compared here because the actual purchase is we use the 420,000 since it's lower and it's related to LC and RV, so therefore 420,000. But here sa actual purchase in the following period, we cannot use 600,000. Again, we will recall the concept of assets shall not be carried in excess of what it can be realized, no? So it will always be tied with LC and RV concept nga lower of cost and net realizable value. So dili ta pwede mag 600,000 purchases here, sad, no? Kay it was only stipulated in the contract na 500,000 ra gid siya. So, okay? So, That's it. And for the required inventory disclosures, this is the last required inventory disclosures in accordance to PAS2. Um, Financial statements must disclose these. So, nagbutang ko diri mnemonics class for you to easily memorize, no? Pathwares, pathwares. So, you need to know what are the policies, the accounting policies. So, what is the basis of measuring the inventory, no? So, what is the inventory measurement? So, is it at cost? Is it at LCNRV? And then, cost formula, or the cost formula used, which is either FIFO, weighted average, whatsoever, no? So, dapat i-disclose na ninyo siya, the accounting policies. Then we also have the amount, the carrying amount of inventory. So the total carrying amount and the classifications if there are any. So for example, sa merchandise inventory, isa ra man dyan na siya. But for the others, like in a manufacturing business, na siya raw materials, na siya work in process, na siya finished goods. No? So i-disclose po na ninyo siya sa notes to financial statements. And then for number 3F, so that is fair value less cost of disposal. So inventory at fair value less cost of disposal if applicable ra siya class, no? So what is related what are those inventories na related to inventory at fair value less cost of disposal? And then inventory recognized as expense. Expense, no? Usually this is the cost of goods sold. And then W is amount of write down recognized. What is the write down amount? So that is the inventory losses recognized during the period. And then the reversal of the write down. No? What is the amount restored as income? And then R is the reason why reversal happened. No? What are the reasons why reversal happened? And then the last one is inventory as a security. What are those inventories that are pledged as security or collateralized, no, for liabilities? So, pathwares. Okay? So, that's it for today. Please stay tuned for part 4. I don't know if we will discuss part 4 in our classroom na, no? So, probably we'll have it done face to face. So, that's it, class. Thank you for watching and being attentive to our discussion. I hope you learned something for today. Goodbye.